The Pelicans look to win four in a row as they take on the Orlando Magic on the road tonight. This is a pretty intriguing matchup for a number of reasons. Let's break it down in today's episode of Locked On Pelicans. Let's go.
You are Locked On Pelicans, your daily New Orleans Pelicans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another edition of Locked On Pelicans, the daily podcast covering your favorite team, the New Orleans Pelicans and NBA, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, available wherever you get your podcasts and available on YouTube. I'm your host, Pelicans Insider, credential member of the media, Jake Madison, at NOLA Jake on Twitter, here with y'all on this Thursday, where we've got a game tonight for the Pelicans. I waited to record this one because, one, I wasn't sure if the Orlando Magic game was going to happen last night. There could have been some doubts that it would have gone on today, but I think this game's going to end up being played. But I wanted to wait just to see just a little bit. But the Orlando Magic did play last night, so let's talk about this one. So thank you for making Locked On Pelicans your first listen every single day. We're free and available 5 days a week for you all, breaking down everything you want to know about this team, the good, the bad, the Zion news, trades, all of that. We're covering it here, and we're going to talk about this game tonight because this one is pretty important for New Orleans as they look to try and win 4 straight games. And then today's episode of Locked On Pelicans brought to you by TrueBill. TrueBill is the new app that saves you money by helping you identify and stop paying for the subscriptions you don't want or need, and can even help negotiate better deals on those you do want to keep. All right, so the Pelicans are going for 4 straight wins, taking on the Orlando Magic. And look, the reason this game might not have happened is they are decimated both by injuries and COVID protocols. Cole Anthony was out in last night's game. They beat the Atlanta Hawks, by the way, with a bunch of no-name players, which is something that's going to come up in today's show. They are without Cole Anthony. He was out. They're without Mo Bamba, who's in health and safety protocols. Wendell Carter was out for last night's game. Michael Carter-Williams has been basically out all season long. Same for Markelle Fultz. RJ Hampton, health and safety protocols. Jonathan Isaac, out. Etuan Moore, out. Michael Mulder, safety protocols. Terrence Ross, health and safety protocols. Jalen Suggs has been out with a fractured thumb. And then you have Mo Wagner, who was out with health and safety protocols, but is back. It's a lot. Like, if you look at their injury report, it's very long. It's nothing good here. But they managed to go out and beat the Atlanta Hawks 104-98 last night behind a bunch of no-name guys stepping up. So this could represent a bit of a trap game to a certain degree for the New Orleans Pelicans. This is an intriguing game for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it has nothing to do with the trap game. Jonas Valanciunas is out with non-COVID related illness. I don't know what it is. They didn't tell us. He's out for this game. So this means you're going to get a Jaxson Hayes sighting. You know, I thought this is interesting because he recently gave an interview to The Athletic with Will Guillory, which was great, and Will asked really good questions. And in it, basically, Jaxson Hayes wanted to take almost no responsibility for why he's out of the rotation and been out of the lineup and not getting minutes. He just says, I need a chance to prove it. You put me out there on the court, I'm going to show you. Instead of saying, like, I didn't play well early on in the season. Because he did have that chance, right? He had the chance, and then Billy Hernangomez supplanted him in the lineup, in the rotation, because Jaxson Hayes was so bad. And Billy's going out there and giving you, 12 points nightly, it feels like, 8, 9, 10 boards, something along those lines. No defense, but at least he can score and give you quality minutes in some capacity as a backup big man. Jaxson Hayes wasn't doing either of those things. He's dominated the G League games that he's played in, and that is a very good thing. But overall, he had not been good at the NBA level this season at all. So he's going to have a chance now. So after that article with Will Guillory, where he says, just like, give me the opportunity. Here's your opportunity. Like, you need to go and seize this and take it if you want to kind of have a future with this team. And he said, maybe my future isn't here. I'll go to another team that, realizes my potential. New Orleans has realized his potential. They took him 8th as an unbelievably raw prospect. He just hasn't lived up to it after showing some flashes at the end of last season. This year has been a very, very down year for him. This is your opportunity, though. This might be the only one you really have for a while. There'll be times when he gets to play this season. I'm sure of that at some point. But now with no Valanciunas, I'm assuming we'll see Billy Hernangomez start in his absence there, which means Jaxson Hayes is going to be the big off the bench. You got to make those minutes, and you need to do at least what Billy does in this one. This is your opportunity, and I'm going to be curious to see if he can really step up. There's not a great front line for the Orlando Magic. They have Robin Lopez, who I like. You know, he's kind of a Billy Hernangomez guy. He can give you a little bit more defense than Billy does. You know, he'll give you 10 points and 10 boards. But this shouldn't be like particularly hard down low, I think, for the Pelicans centers, which is why it would have been really nice to have Jonas Valanciunas in this to almost feel like you could guarantee that win. But Jax is going to have an opportunity to play and play well because the competition isn't going to be like, I don't know, a normal good team. If he doesn't make the most of this, yeah, it's disappointing, right? Like that's where you really start to not believe that he has a future with this team potentially. So this game, while the Pelicans want to win 4 in a row, there's massive implications for the former 8th overall pick in Jaxson Hayes in this one. Like of all the things in this game, that his play is what I'm going to be watching tonight because he should see a pretty heavy dose of minutes. So coming up next, what else are we looking for in this game? Nickeil and Brandon Ingram as well in this one. So let's talk about that coming up here next in today's episode of Locked On Pelicans. Before we do that, though, today's episode of Locked On Pelicans is brought to you by PrizePicks. NBA fans, Pelicans fans, you've been hearing me tell you about PrizePicks for months. But have you signed up yet? And if you haven't, now is the perfect time. For a limited time, PrizePicks has an exclusive no-brainer of an offer for all of our users. Get $50 free if a player in your first PrizePick entry scores a single point. So basically, you sign up, you make your picks, and if one of the guys you pick scores 1 point, you get $50. It's the easiest thing, but you must use promo code NBA. That's right. It's an exclusive offer available only to Locked On fans who use promo code NBA. You're going to get $50 free if your player scores 1 single point. So PrizePicks has the best NBA DFS prop game on the market, and PrizePicks offers more NBA props than any other DFS prop operator and offers all the superstar players. You can get Brandon Ingram, right? But they get the bench players only getting a couple of minutes each game too. So if you want Billy Hernangomez and you feel good on the over for his points or his rebounds, you can take that. Or maybe you don't feel confident in Jaxson Hayes, take the under. You guys know this team better than most other people do. And PrizePicks offers any prop you can think of: points, assists, rebounds, threes made, etc. You can pick 2 to 5 players in an over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry, and it's just you versus the projected numbers. So use your Pelicans knowledge to go out there and make some money. And it takes like 30 seconds. It's so easy. Plus, PrizePicks also offers mixed sports entries. So you can take the over on Brandon Ingram points, and you can take the over on Alvin Kamara yards. And you get to use the award-winning app both on the App Store and Google Play. And PrizePicks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. So go to PrizePicks today and order your App Store and download the app. And anyone who makes a deposit and use the promo code will get a free $50 if your first PrizePick entry scores a single point. It's really that easy. Again, all you need to do is make a deposit, use our promo code NBA, and you'll get $50 free if your PrizePick entry scores a single point. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. Today's episode of Locked On Pelicans is also brought to you by Boost Mobile. You can listen to podcasts for the power of the inside track when it comes to sports. You switch to Boost Mobile for the power of saving money. Because with Boost, you get the power of a free 5G phone so you can listen to the latest episodes of Locked On Pelicans and Locked On NBA and keep up with your favorite players and teams. The power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line so your family can share all the insights, and the power of one of America's largest 5G networks so you can do it all at the speed of 5G. With all that money you'll save and all the edge you'll gain, just how powerful will you become? Switch to Boost Mobile to find out. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest 5G networks. More power to save. Boost Mobile. Free phone limited to new customers, 1 per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers and coverage not available everywhere for all phones and networks. See boostmobile.com for details. All right, thank you for making Locked On Pelicans your first listen every single day. We're free and available 5 days a week for you on all platforms, Monday through Friday. No paywall, anything like that, just Pelicans talk all throughout the week. We're going to be here the rest of the week. We're going to be here all of next week as well. So subscribe wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube as well. So we're talking about the matchup with the Orlando Magic. We just really focused in on Jaxson Hayes with no Jonas Valanciunas. This is his opportunity. If you can't take advantage of this, like, it's just one of those things of like, I don't know what to tell you. But the same goes for other guys on this team a little bit too, and in particular, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Really great game the other night in the win over the Portland Trail Blazers, kind of being the catalyst for New Orleans, particularly in the fourth quarter where he scored 18 of his 27 points, closed that win out. It's time to do it again. It's time to do it again. He will see an increased role, right? You have a performance like that. You're going up against the Orlando Magic. Injuries and COVID kind of taking away a lot of their key players. This is your opportunity to have another big game and put two in a row together. I can name you some of the guys who played significant minutes for the Orlando Magic, and you've never heard of them. The reason you've never heard of them is because I've never heard of them, right? You don't know who Hassani Gravett is. I really don't. You've never really heard of BJ Boston either. Those are guys that played significant minutes for the Orlando Magic. BJ Boston came off the bench and scored 14 points. You don't really know who that is. You're not really familiar with Chuma Okeke, unless you're an SEC guy. So it's one of those things where you're playing against subpar competition and you have an opportunity to really go out and win this game and string some good performances together. They're starting Gary Harris, who was a throw-in from the Denver Nuggets for the deal that sent Aaron Gordon there, right? He's an okay player, but no one else in their guard rotation is particularly good. They just signed frickin' Tim Frazier, and he played 20 minutes for them last night. So they're coming in on the second night of a back-to-back with a bunch of G League guys and throwaway parts. Nickeil, you need to have a big game. You need to dominate these guys, to be perfectly honest. You cannot have a guy who has played like 7 career NBA games, 6 career NBA games, 3 career NBA games in some cases here, and get worked by them. That is unacceptable for a healthy Pelicans team. The Atlanta Hawks get a bit of an excuse. They're dealing with COVID. They have injuries and things like that too. BJ Boston has played a total of 20 NBA games, right? Hassani Gravett has played a total of, this will be his 4th NBA game. Nickeil's been in the league for 3 years. He's played significant minutes, right? These guys are like 25-year-old rookies and such. He cannot go out and not play well against them. What does that say after a strong performance the night before, or the game before for Nickeil? Again, you need some consistency, and this is his chance to be able to go out and do it. This is also one of those games where Brandon Ingram needs to realize he is an all-star. And there's no one really out there on the court that's going to really be able to slow him down. This is not one where he needs to take a back seat, where he needs to defer. This is one where he just needs to go and straight up be the best player and just kind of win this game and try and get it done early. Yeah, they have Franz Wagner, but he's a rookie. He can score a little bit. He was put up 25 points against the Atlanta Hawks. But let's not pretend that that's a guy that should be slowing down Brandon Ingram even in the slightest, right? Admiral Schofield was a second-round pick who's been in the league and on various teams right now and hasn't been able to put it together. He's not going to come in and be able to slow down a guy like Brandon Ingram, or shouldn't. Just go out, impose your will, end this game early, and be done with it. That, I think, is the biggest thing. Brandon Ingram has a chance to go out and just put up a 30 spot here. 35 would be cool too. If you want to go for more than that, I'm all for it. Just end this game early. Get in their heads, let these guys stop kind of trying, and just go with the youth movement who shouldn't be that good against a fully healthy Pelicans team. Losing this game would be a bit of a disaster for New Orleans. You want to prove that you're not one of the worst teams in the Western Conference, that you're worthy of the play-in tournament, that you can be that team even without Zion Williamson. It's a game like this. They were bad already. They're injured now. They're dealing with COVID issues. They're playing on the second night of a back-to-back. There's just no excuse to really go out and lose this game. So I want to see a big performance from Nickeil, and I also want to see a dominant performance from Brandon Ingram. Nickeil, play under control. Don't make those stupid turnovers. Play orchestrate the offense, choose good shots, work off ball like he did well last game. I think those are kind of the biggest things for him. If he can do that, I'll feel a little bit better about him. Look, at least beat the bad competition and show you're not on that lower level and you're higher up than them in terms of kind of where you are as an NBA player. That's what I want to see from him in this game. He doesn't need to have 27 points, but it can't be like an awful shooting night on bad shot selection and things like that. That's where he's really got to try and turn it around. So let's talk about the G League stuff coming up here next. Pelicans have a new two-way deal in place. You're also seeing some other call-ups from the Birmingham squadron around the NBA as a whole. Let's talk about that coming up here next in today's episode of Locked On Pelicans. Today's episode of Locked On Pelicans is brought to you by TrueBill. Do you know why free trials renew without your consent? It's a business scam that's out to get you. Don't let greedy corporations pocket your money. Download TrueBill to take control of your subscriptions. TrueBill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or simply forgot about. And on average, people save up to $720 a year with TrueBill. Because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, TrueBill will make it easy. Just link your accounts and TrueBill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. And you've got a TrueBill concierge who is there to cancel those unwanted subscriptions so you don't even have to. I love this thing. I hate getting dinged for like $5.99, $10.99, whatever it might be, and it's happened. You feel dumb. You feel like you got scammed, and now you're out money too, which is just never fun, and that adds up after a while, right? TrueBill is going to save you money. I put my accounts in there. You just press a button and it's done for you. It's so easy. You don't need to go through like web pages, clicking, trying to put in reasons or things like that. They're going to just make it as easy as possible. So don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. Go right now. TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA could save you thousands a year. TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. Thank you for making Locked On Pelicans your first listen every single day. We're free and available on all platforms, wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube as well. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, breaking down everything you want to know about the team, even this holiday season. Big game tonight, I think. Like, it shouldn't be a big game, but it is for the Pelicans as they take on the Orlando Magic. I've explained why. There's no reason you should lose to this really decimated team. I think they're going to get the win. That's a pretty big thing here, so I'm kind of excited about that. But some other news from around the league. One, with all of the COVID exceptions and hardships coming up, you're seeing a lot of call-ups, right? And the Pelicans, I think, made a move that's almost like trying to preempt some of this. So you're seeing these call-ups on hardship exceptions that don't count against the salary cap. You have to make these signings regardless of like your roster status, things like that. So you're seeing guys get kind of snapped up. So all of these top guys are going to get some looks in the NBA, and you're seeing it. And I think it's a cool story. I think it's going to kind of change the career trajectory for one or two guys. Like, someone's going to make it in the NBA because they had a good game, because whatever team they played for was decimated by COVID for a period of time. And so with the Birmingham squadron, you're seeing a couple of call-ups. Zylan Chatham, who's a former two-way player for New Orleans, got called up to the Miami Heat, forward who's been playing pretty well. He's averaging 14.2 points per game. He's shooting 43% from 3 on 3 attempts per game, while also grabbing 10 rebounds, dishing out 2 assists. So pretty good numbers for kind of the wingman forward there. You also have the Hawks calling up Malcolm Hill from the Birmingham squadron. He's averaging 17 points per game. He's doing it shooting, 40% from the field and 40% from 3, 52% from the field overall, 6 rebounds per game. He's been pretty good. So with all of these guys getting called up, the Pelicans made a bit of a preemptive move. They signed from the Birmingham squadron, they signed Jared Harper to a 2-way contract, letting go of Dalton Thomas, who had been injured all season long. Harper's averaging 21.2 points per game. He's shooting 40% from 3 on 7.5 attempts per game. He's also dishing out 5.5 assists per. Those are really good numbers. I don't think they have a need for him right now. I don't think you're going to see him playing. They won't play Jose Alvarado, so I can't imagine that they would play a guy like Jared Harper, who's been in the G League for a couple of years, out of Auburn. But I think they wanted to kind of protect an asset, a player that they may need, and not let Jared Harper get grabbed by another team. So this move, signing him to a 2-way deal, I think is more about kind of preempting and stopping another team from grabbing him, being like, this is our guy. Let's give him some more money. Let's sign him to a 2-way deal. One, in case we need him, and to prevent another team from getting him, realizing they like him and trying to keep him as much as possible and take him away from the Pelicans. So smart move there. He's undersized. I don't know if he's going to contribute at the NBA level, but given how things have gone for New Orleans, right, and their The backcourt has been rough. There's no reason not to give it a try. He's 5'10", you guys. He's 5'10", right? He's 24 years old. Let's not pretend that he's probably going to make a huge impact here in the NBA. The defense is not particularly great there, but he can score. It's worth a chance. It's worth keeping, even from a strategic mindset, that player away from another NBA club. And you got to wonder if they heard word that someone wanted to sign him, something along those lines. So smart move for him. That's your new two-way contract player for the Pelican. But good sign that so many guys are getting called up from the Birmingham squadron. This is the Pelicans G League affiliate. They have Ryan Pannoni there as the head coach. They must be doing something right when you get 3 call-ups from that team. It says that organization is doing something correctly. They're playing right. They're developing players and having these guys in position to succeed, and they are succeeding. That is a very good sign for some of the infrastructure that the Pelicans, and credit to David Griffin on this one, right, have put in place to see those call-ups happen. So cool. Good job. I like seeing that. You want to see this kind of success. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Locked On Pelicans. Thank you all for listening. We'll recap the game tomorrow. As always, I'm your host, Jake Madison, at NOLA Jake on Twitter. Back with you all then.